Walmart Plus members save on meeting up with friends. Save on having them over for dinner with free delivery with no hidden fees or markups. That's groceries, plus napkins, plus that vegetable chopper to make things a bit easier. Plus, members save on gas to go meet them in their neck of the woods. Plus, when you're ready for the ultimate sign of friendship, start a show together with your included Paramount Plus subscription. Walmart Plus members save on this plus so much more. Start a 30-day free trial at walmartplus.com. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. See Walmart Plus terms and conditions.
Hey everybody, and welcome to our first ever current events episode. Today, we are going to learn what was good, what was bad, what was important, what was interesting, and what was strange about 2020. Let's get started.
Okay, Olivia, I want to know, what was good in 2020?
There was a lot of good news to come out of 2020. In November, 4 astronauts launched into space.
Those 4 astronauts took the 27.5-hour flight to the International Space Station. The flight was completely automatic, meaning that the astronauts didn't have to do anything to control the capsule they were flying in. There was a similar launch 6 months earlier in May, with 2 astronauts traveling to the International Space Station, but that launch was a test. Because it was so successful, SpaceX, the private company that designed the rockets, plans to send astronauts into space every 6 months. Why is this so significant? Well, it's because it had been 9 years since NASA astronauts launched into space from American soil. Not only can we expect frequent missions to space from the United States going forward, but there are plans to allow tourists to travel to space soon as well. Who knows? Maybe one of us will soon take the 27.5-hour journey to the International Space Station. Hey Olivia, what was bad in 2020?
The coronavirus was very bad, of course. A year ago, many of us didn't even know about the coronavirus yet, but since then, the virus has changed our lives so much.
A year ago today, nobody in the United States had even tested positive for the virus yet. The first confirmed case didn't occur until January 20th of 2020, when an American citizen who had recently traveled to Wuhan, China, tested positive for COVID-19 in Washington state. At this time, close to 100 million people have tested positive for COVID-19, and the virus has caused lots of pain and suffering all over the world. Early in 2020, the United States was struggling to test enough people to see if they had the disease. Today, the United States is running into a similar problem, but this time, it's the slow rollout of the newly approved vaccines that need to be addressed before life can truly get back to normal. The virus has changed the way we get together with family and friends, the way we go to work and school, the way we shop and eat and play, and so much more. It even impacted the availability of things we never thought we would see shortages of, like coins and toilet paper. The coronavirus is the primary reason that many people were happy to see 2020 come to an end. Here's hoping that everyone out there has a happy and, even more importantly, a healthy 2021. All right, Olivia, what was important in 2020?
The presidential election in November was super important. In that election, Joe Biden was elected to be the 46th President of the United States.
Even though the election took place more than 2 months ago, Joe Biden won't become president until January 20th, just a few days from now. Joe Biden served as vice president under the 44th President Barack Obama, who was the president when Olivia, her brother Noah, and many of our listeners were born. Joe Biden's vice president will be Kamala Harris. The daughter of an Indian mother and a Jamaican father, Kamala Harris will be the first woman to ever serve as Vice President of the United States. Joe Biden and his administration will have lots of issues to address, but their primary focus early on will be to bring an end to the coronavirus pandemic. We wish the 46th President Joe Biden and the history-making Vice President Kamala Harris the best as they try to tackle these complicated issues. Okay, Olivia, what was interesting in 2020?
Flying cars are being tested in Japan. Can you believe it? Cars that fly in the sky?
I remember as a kid, right around Olivia's age, when I thought about cool things that might happen in the future, I thought about the possibility of flying cars. Well, those dreams I had of flying cars are closer to reality than even I could have imagined. A company called SkyDrive demonstrated their flying car, called the SD-03, in August. The car flew for about 4 minutes and only flew a few feet off the ground, but the demo was a small step in the direction of flying cars. Today, there are lots of groups that are working on flying car technology, including airplane makers Boeing, car makers Toyota, and even ride service company Uber. There are lots of obstacles to cross for the companies that are working on flying cars, including design, safety, and cost. SkyDrive has the goal of flying 2 passengers for up to 3 miles in a flying car by the end of 2023. Do you think we are close to seeing flying cars in the sky? That would be awesome, and it would really help the traffic situation too. Who knows? Flying cars might be here pretty soon. Okay, Olivia, what was strange in 2020?
Mount Everest got taller in 2020, and it's not even the first time the world's tallest mountain got taller. Isn't that strange?
Mount Everest is a massive mountain. It is taller than any mountain in the world. Mount Everest is located between Nepal and Tibet, which is a part of China. Mount Everest is named after Sir George Everest, who was a surveyor that worked in India almost 200 years ago. A man who worked for George Everest by the name of Radhanath Sikdar was the first person to recognize that Mount Everest was the tallest mountain in the world. He tried to calculate the height of the majestic mountain, but he didn't have the same fancy tools we are able to use today to make those calculations. The height Mr. Sikdar came up with was exactly 29,000 feet. When George Everest saw this number, he was concerned that people wouldn't believe it, because what are the chances that the mountain measured exactly 29,000 feet tall? He added 2 feet to the height to make it more believable, so the height of Mount Everest was recognized as being 29,002 feet for about a full century. In 1955, a new survey was done by India that added even more height to Mount Everest and calculated its height as 29,029 feet. There have been lots of disagreements on what the official height should be. China and Nepal couldn't even agree whether the height should include the snow at the top of the mountain or not. In 2020, China and Nepal surveyed the mountain together for the first time. There were many that believed that the mountain may have lost some height following a very strong earthquake that hit Nepal back in 2015. But guess what? Their calculations actually added a couple of feet to Mount Everest, bringing its new official height to 29,031.7 feet. Just like you, Olivia, Mount Everest continues to grow and grow.
Thanks to everyone for tuning in to our first ever current events episode.
Our first, but certainly not our last. We are going to continue releasing current events episodes every single month going forward. Join us every month as we learn what was good, what was bad, what was important, what was interesting, and what was strange from the month before. Unlike this special bonus episode, all of our current events episodes going forward are going to be available for Patreon supporters only. To learn more about how to support Curious Kid Podcast on Patreon, you can click on the link in the show notes or search for Curious Kid Podcast on Patreon. That's Patreon. There are lots of fun goodies you get for becoming a CKP supporter. It's the incredible support we get from our Patreon supporters that helps us continue to provide fun and educational podcasts for the whole family to enjoy.
Until next month, this is Olivia and Jacob signing off from the Curious Kid Podcast newsroom.
Walmart Plus members save on meeting up with friends. Save on having them over for dinner with free delivery with no hidden fees or markups. That's groceries plus napkins plus that vegetable chopper to make things a bit easier. Plus, members save on gas to go meet them in their neck of the woods. Plus, when you're ready for the ultimate sign of friendship, start a show together with your included Paramount Plus subscription. Walmart Plus members save on this plus so much more. Start a 30-day free trial at walmartplus.com. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. See Walmart Plus terms and conditions.